For a year and a half, I had been signing checks nonstop. Equipment deposits, building leases, government licenses, contracts for medical supplies. $4.3 million of my own money, poured straight into turning her dream into something real made of concrete, glass, and steel. Tonight was supposed to be the payoff. The celebration. The place was packed wall to wall. Investors she had chased for months. Doctors and medical partners she had convinced to join. Her parents sitting up front, smiling like proud royalty. I stood near the back in my suit, feeling proud of what we had built together, or at least what I thought we had built together. She stepped up to the microphone and started thanking everyone. The architects, the builders, her staff, all the people who showed up at the end to enjoy the success. Then she turned and looked straight at me. She smiled, but it was not the smile I knew. It was cold, polished, practiced. And of course, she said, I need to acknowledge my test-run husband. The room went dead quiet. Every head turned toward me. You know how you practice on an older model before you upgrade? She said, laughing. A few people laughed too. Not because it was funny. More like nervous laughter. Confused laughter. Well, he served his purpose, she continued. He got me here. But every successful woman knows when it is time for a real partner, not a placeholder. She pulled an envelope from her jacket and walked it right over to me, right there in front of everyone. Divorce papers. Already signed on her side. Thanks for the investment, she said, patting my shoulder like I was a co-worker instead of her husband. Then she walked back to the microphone and started talking about her future vision for the clinic like nothing had happened. I stood there holding that envelope. Her father stared at the floor. Her mother covered her mouth with her hand. My best friend, Tyler, looked like he was ready to explode. I pulled out my phone and sent a message to my lawyer. I need you now. This is an emergency. Then I texted my accountant. Freeze everything. I walked to the front of the room and took the microphone out of her hand. She looked shocked. Quick announcement, I said. As the sole private investor in this clinic, I am withdrawing all funding immediately. Effective tonight. Good luck to everyone. I handed the microphone back to her and walked out. Behind me, I heard her voice crack as she tried to laugh it off. He is joking. He would not actually. But I was already in the parking lot, calling my lawyer. How fast can I pull $4.3 million out of a business like this? I asked. If you are the only investor and it is not operational yet, he said, 48 hours, maybe less. Do it, I said. I drove home. Not to our shared place. I went to the house I owned before we got married. The one fully in my name. The one I had been staying at more and more lately, because she was always too busy with clinic prep to come home. My phone started ringing before I even pulled into the driveway. Her name popped up. I declined the call. It rang again. Declined. Again. Declined. By the time I walked inside, I had 12 missed calls. I poured myself a drink, sat down in my living room, and for the first time in 18 months, I felt like I could breathe. My phone buzzed. A message from Tyler. That was the most unbelievable thing I have ever seen. Are you okay? I am getting there. I texted back. Good, he replied. Because she is losing her mind. Her parents are panicking. Half the room is asking what just happened. They will figure it out, I wrote. Another message came through. My lawyer meeting tomorrow morning. Bring all investment paperwork. Already organized, I replied. I had known something was wrong for months. The way she pulled away. The late nights that had nothing to do with the clinic. The phone call she took in the other room. I just never imagined she would humiliate me in front of 100 people. That was a huge mistake on her part. By morning, my phone showed 67 missed calls. Every single one from her. I did not listen to a single voicemail. Around 8 in the morning, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the window. It was her father. I opened the door, but stayed outside, blocking the entrance. He was still wearing the same suit from the night before. He looked exhausted. We need to talk, he said. No, we do not, I said, starting to close the door. He raised his hand. Please. 5 minutes. I stepped outside fully and shut the door behind me. I was not letting him in. You are destroying her dream, he said. Over hurt feelings? Over being humiliated in front of 100 people, I said. Over being called a test run. Over divorce papers being handed to me like a parking ticket. She made a mistake, he said. She is under a lot of stress. Stop, I said, holding up my hand. I put $4.3 million into that clinic. My money, not shared savings. Mine. She repaid me by announcing our divorce on stage and making me look like a fool. So yes, I am taking my money back. The equipment suppliers want payment, he said. The lease company is threatening legal action. The doctors are backing out. You are going to ruin her. She ruined herself, I said. He stepped closer. We refinanced our house to help with startup costs. We believed in her. You are going to hurt all of us because of one bad night. That made me pause. You refinanced your house? I asked. $50,000, he said. We thought this was family. I felt something then. Not guilt. Just an understanding that other people were going to get hurt too. I am sorry about your house, I said honestly. But that is between you and your daughter. She made choices last night. And choices come with consequences. You are really going through with this? He asked. It is already done, I said. My lawyer filed the paperwork first thing this morning. Every single dollar would be back in my accounts within 48 hours. When her father heard that, his face drained of color. She had told him I was bluffing. I do not bluff. He left without saying another word. By midday, the emails started pouring in. Equipment suppliers demanding payment. The landlord for the clinic space asking about the next lease installment. Medical partners requesting emergency meetings. I forwarded every message to my lawyer with one simple instruction. Handle it cleanly. Nothing illegal. Just get my investment back. My accountant called around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He told me the clinic account still had $60,000 in deposits from other people. Small investors. Mostly family friends. They want to know if you plan to preserve their money, he said. Yes, I told him. They did not humiliate me. Just return my portion. Done, he said. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my best friend Brian showed up at my house with coffee and boxes of Chinese food. You are trending on local social media, he said as he unpacked the containers on my kitchen counter. Fantastic, I said. Half the people think you are a vindictive jerk, he continued. The other half think you are a legend. For the record, I am firmly in the legend group. Good to know, I said. He pulled out his phone and showed me a post from her mother. Heartbroken watching my daughter's dreams destroyed by a cruel man who cannot handle being left. Prayers needed. I handed the phone back. Let them spin it however they want. You are not going to defend yourself? Brian asked. Why would I? I said. Anyone who matters already knows what happened. Everyone else can believe whatever makes them feel better. Brian studied me for a moment. You are scarily calm. That is because I am done, I said. 18 months of funding someone who only saw me as temporary. I am not angry. I am finished. My phone rang again. Her number. According to my call log, it was the 92nd attempt. You really have not talked to her even once? Brian asked. Not once, I said. She is going to show up here eventually. I changed the locks this morning, I said. She does not have a key anymore. When did you have time for that? I called a locksmith at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was here by 7. Brian laughed. You are terrifying when you are efficient. We ate quietly for a minute. Then he spoke again. Can I ask you something? Sure. Did you see this coming? I set my chopsticks down. The divorce part, yes. She had been distant for months. Cold. Always glued to her phone. I knew something was going on. Then why pour so much money into it if you suspected that? Because I wanted to be wrong, I said. I wanted to believe she would remember why we got married. I thought supporting her dream might fix whatever broke between us. And instead, she called you a test run, Brian said. Instead, she called me a test run, I said. He shook his head. I knew she was self-centered. I did not know she was cruel. My phone buzzed with a message from my lawyer. All funds will be returned to your account by tomorrow afternoon. Clean withdrawal. No legal issues. I showed Brian the screen. That was fast, he said. That is what happens when everything is documented properly, I said. Every receipt. Every transfer. Every contract. This was never joint money. It was mine. What is she going to do now, he asked. Not my problem, I said. My phone buzzed again. A text from her. You are making a huge mistake. We can fix this. Call me. I deleted it without replying. How many messages is that now? Brian asked. I stopped counting after 50, I said. He raised his coffee cup. To test runs being over. I clinked my cup against his. To real partnerships, wherever they may be. Outside, a car pulled into the driveway. Her car. Want me to stay? Brian asked. No, I said. I have got this. She got out and walked toward the front door. I could see her rehearsing whatever speech she had planned. Brian slipped out the back door. She knocked. I waited 10 seconds before opening it. "We need to talk," she said. "No, we do not," I replied. "You cannot just destroy everything I built." "I did not build anything," I said. "I funded it with my money, and I am taking it back." She pushed past me into the house. I did not stop her. I just closed the door behind us. 4 years of marriage, and this is how you treat me?" she snapped, spinning around with fire in her eyes. 4 years of marriage, and you call me a test run in front of everyone we know, I said. "So yes, this is how I treat someone who humiliates me." "It was a joke," she said quickly. "A stupid joke that came out wrong. You had divorce papers ready," I said. "That was not a joke." She hesitated. I was angry. "You have been distant. You never supported my vision." "I gave you $4.3 million, I said. "Money is not support," she said. I laughed. "I could not help it. You are standing in my house, angry that I will not fund your business anymore, telling me money is not support. Do you hear yourself?" "You know what I mean," she said. "Emotional support. Being present." "You treated the clinic like a transaction," she added. "Because it was," I said. "You wanted funding. I provided it. What I did not sign up for was public humiliation and divorce papers as a thank you." She sat down on my couch without asking. "Can we just talk?" she said. "A real conversation." "Sure," I said. "Start with why you are here." "To fix this," she said. "To explain. To make you understand." "I understand perfectly," I said. "You wanted the clinic funded. You got it funded. Then you decided you did not need me anymore. You miscalculated how fast I could pull the money. Now you are here trying to clean up the mess." "That is not fair," she said. "Fair," I replied. I leaned back against the wall and crossed my arms. "You want to talk about fair?" I said. "Let's talk about how you told 50 people I was just practice before the upgrade. Let's talk about how you handed me divorce papers like I was a line item you were cutting from a budget. Is that fair enough for you?" Her phone rang. She looked down at the screen and declined the call. "That one of the doctors?" I asked. "Or one of the equipment suppliers?" "Stop it," she snapped. "Stop what?" I asked. "Being accurate?" I stepped away from the wall. "Your clinic does not exist without my money. You knew that. Which makes the timing of your little announcement real interesting." She looked up sharply. "What are you implying?" "I am not implying anything," I said. "I am stating facts. You waited until everything was paid for. Until the clinic was days from opening. Until you thought the money was locked in and untouchable. Then you made your move." "You think I planned this?" she asked. "I think you are smarter than you are pretending to be right now," I said. She turned and walked to the window, staring outside. "There is someone else." "Finally," I said. "The truth." She spun around, surprised. "You knew?" "I suspected," I said. "People do not go from loving spouse to calling someone a test run overnight." She hesitated. "It is one of the medical partners." Of course it was. The cosmetic surgeon she had been talking about for months. The one she said understood her vision. The one she said really believed in her goals. "Does he know you just destroyed the clinic?" I asked. "He thinks we can find new investors," she said. "Good luck," I replied. News travels fast in medical circles. No one is going to touch a clinic where the main investor pulled out like this. "You are enjoying this," she accused. "I am not enjoying anything," I said. "I am just watching consequences happen." Her phone rang again. This time she answered. "Hello? Yes. I know. No, I do not have another funding source yet. I am working on it. That is not fair. We had an agreement." She ended the call and lowered the phone. "The landlord is canceling the lease," she said. "Without proof of funding, they will not hold the space." "That makes sense," I said. "You do not care at all," she said. "I care that I was humiliated," I said calmly. "I care that you thought you could use me and throw me away. And I care that you are now facing the natural results of treating people like disposable tools." "I made a mistake," she said. "You made several," I replied. "The biggest one was thinking I would accept being called a test run and keep writing checks." She pulled out her phone and shoved it toward me. "Look." It was a text thread. The surgeon telling her he was backing out. "Too much risk. Too much bad publicity. He is gone," she said quietly. "The clinic is gone. My parents refinanced their house for nothing. And you are just standing there like none of this matters." "It does not," I said. "Not to me. Not anymore." "How can you be so cold?" she asked. "I am not cold," I said. "I am done. There is a difference." She tried again, this time softer. We had good years. Remember when we first met? When we stayed up all night talking about the future? I remember, I said. I also remember last night, when you handed me divorce papers in front of a crowd. Recent memories tend to stick harder. If I apologize. Stop, I said. Whatever you are about to say, stop. An apology does not return $4.3 million. It does not erase public humiliation. And it definitely does not make me interested in funding your life anymore. My friend had been right. I was terrifying when I was efficient. She left about 10 minutes later. She did not get what she came for. That evening, my lawyer called. Funds transferred. You are clear. Good, I said. One more thing, he added. She hired legal representation. Attorney named Harold Simmons. Aggressive personality. Not particularly sharp. This will be manageable. Keep me informed, I said. I hung up and opened my laptop. It was time to figure out what came next. I started by changing every password connected to my life. Anything she might still have access to. 3 days later, her parents showed up at my office. Security called me before letting them upstairs. 2 people claiming to be family, the guard said. Do you want them sent away? No, I said. Let them up. They walked into my office looking broken. Her mother's eyes were swollen from crying. Her father looked 10 years older than the last time I saw him. Please, her mother said. Just listen. I motioned to the chairs across from my desk. They sat down slowly. We lost our house, her father said. The refinance depended on the clinic succeeding. The bank called the loan when the funding was pulled. We have 30 days to repay $50,000 or they foreclose. I am sorry to hear that, I said. Are you? Her mother asked, her voice cracking. Our daughter made a mistake, she said. A terrible, stupid mistake. But we are the ones losing everything. You chose to refinance your house based on her business plan, I said. That was your decision. We trusted her, her father said. I was her husband, I replied. I trusted her too. And here we are. He leaned forward. What do you want? An apology? Public humiliation in return? Name it. We will make her do whatever you want. Just help us save our home. I do not want anything from her, I said. And I am not giving her money. Those are separate issues. Her mother stared at me. So we just lose our house. We are in our 60s, her mother said softly. We cannot start over. I reached into my desk drawer, pulled out my checkbook, wrote a check for $50,000, and slid it across the desk toward them. They both froze, staring at it like it might disappear. This is a loan, I said calmly. To you, not to your daughter. You pay me back when you can. No interest. No deadline. Whenever you are able. Her mother picked up the check with shaking hands. Why would you do this? Because you did not humiliate me, I said. You did not call me a test run. You made a financial decision based on the information you were given. That is not your fault. Her father looked at me for a long moment. She really ruined this, did she not? Spectacularly, I said. They left my office holding that check. I knew there was a good chance I would never see that money again. I did not care. They were decent people who got caught in someone else's mess. That afternoon, her lawyer sent over a letter. 10 pages of legal threats. My lawyer called me, laughing. This is the worst demand letter I have seen in 15 years, he said. He is threatening to sue for intentional business interference and emotional distress. Neither applies here. How do you want to respond? I asked. I will send him a simple explanation of why he is wrong, he said. That should shut him down. If not, we will bury him in paperwork. 2 hours later, she posted a long emotional message on social media. She wrote about betrayal, about men who punish women for wanting independence, about vindictive exes who destroy dreams. The comments exploded. Half supported her, half tore her story apart. Someone had recorded her speech from the event and uploaded it. The test run husband line was spreading fast. My friend Brian texted me. She is getting absolutely destroyed in the comments. People are not buying the victim act. Not surprised, I replied. He sent another message. One guy wrote, imagine calling your husband a test run and then acting shocked when he stops paying for your life. 3,000 likes. I stared at the screen for a moment. The internet could be brutal, but sometimes it was efficient. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. This is Dr. Kevin Shaw, the voice said. I think we should talk. Interesting. About what? I asked. Your ex-wife, he said. She told me you pulled funding out of spite. But I have been reading social media. I saw the video. That is not what happened, is it? No, I said. It is not. She told me you were already separated, he continued. That the clinic had nothing to do with the marriage. That you were just an investor who got nervous. She lied, I said. There was silence on the line. I ended things with her this morning, he finally said. I do not get involved with dishonest people. I wanted you to know. I appreciate the call, I said. One more thing, he added. The other medical partners are discussing legal action. She misrepresented the funding situation. Some of us put down deposits based on her assurances. We want that money returned. That is between you and her attorney, I said. I am not involved. He agreed and hung up. That evening, I was at home cooking dinner when someone started pounding on my front door. Not knocking, pounding. I looked through the window. Her brother, Jason, standing there with his fists clenched and his face red with anger. I opened the door. You smug piece of trash, he shouted, pushing his way inside. Get out, I said immediately. You humiliated my sister, he yelled. You destroyed her business. You turned her into a joke online. You think that is okay? I think handing me divorce papers in front of 100 people while calling me a test run is what started this, I said. Everything else is just consequences. She made a mistake, he snapped. So did I said. I trusted her. And now I get to live with being publicly humiliated. You are hiding behind money, he said. You are a coward who cannot handle a strong woman. I laughed. Strong women do not insult their partners to feel powerful. Strong women do not pressure their parents into refinancing their house to fund a fantasy. Your sister is not strong. She is reckless. He stepped closer. Say that again. Get out of my house. Now. Make me, he said. I pulled out my phone and dialed. Put it on speaker. 911. What is your emergency? There is a man in my home refusing to leave, I said. I need police assistance. His eyes went wide. You are calling the cops? He said. Yes, I replied. You are trespassing and threatening me. You can leave now, or explain this to officers. He stormed out without another word. The operator asked if I was safe. I confirmed and ended the call. A few minutes later, my lawyer texted me. Her attorney wants a settlement meeting. Should I take it? He asked. Sure, I replied. Sounds entertaining. I was in no rush. I had time, and I had all the leverage. The meeting was scheduled for Friday. It never happened. Thursday night, around 9 o'clock, someone knocked on my door. Soft, hesitant, nothing like her brother, nothing like her. I looked through the window. A young woman, maybe mid-20s. It took me a moment to recognize her. Lily, her younger sister. Quiet one. The only person in that family who ever asked me real questions at dinner. I opened the door. I know you probably do not want to see anyone from our family, she said nervously. But I need to tell you something. Something nobody else will. I stepped aside. Come in. Water? I asked. That would be fine, she said. We sat down in the living room. I am not here to defend her, Lily said. I am here because you deserve the truth. The whole truth. I nodded. Go ahead. She took a deep breath. My parents did not just refinance their house, she said. They emptied their retirement accounts too, Alicia said quietly. $58,000 total. They told everyone it was $50,000 because they were embarrassed. My stomach tightened. Why are you telling me this? Because she knew, Alicia said. She knew they were risking everything. She told them it was guaranteed money. She said you were so in love you would never pull out. She said she had you completely under control. Under control? I repeated. Her words, not mine. Alicia said, looking down at her hands. And there is more. I stayed silent. Dr. Kevin Shaw, she continued. They have been involved for 7 months. Since the beginning of the clinic planning. He helped design the layout. Pick equipment. She told me he was her real future, and that you were just funding the transition. 7 months. 7 months of me writing checks and believing we were building a life together. And the divorce papers, Alicia went on. She had those ready for 3 weeks. She showed them to me, asked if I thought the timing was right. I told her she was being cruel. She said I did not understand business. Business, I repeated. That is how she saw it, Alicia said. You were a business arrangement. She got what she needed. Then it was time to upgrade. I stood up and walked to the window, staring out into the dark street, trying to process everything. Why are you telling me this? I asked again. Because she plans to lie in the settlement meeting, Alicia said. She is going to claim you promised the money as a gift, not an investment. She is going to claim you were abusive and controlling. She is going to say she feared for her safety. I turned around sharply. What? Her attorney suggested it, Alicia said. He told her if she could prove emotional abuse, she might get a better outcome. She is going to say you isolated her from friends, controlled her finances, made her feel trapped. That is completely made up, I said. I know, Alicia said. I was there. I saw how you treated her. You supported her. Honestly, maybe too much. She is going to lie under oath? I said. Yes, Alicia said. Why are you risking your relationship with your family to tell me this? Alicia met my eyes. Because I am tired of watching her destroy people and then play the victim. She did this to her last boyfriend too. Different situation, same pattern. Use people. Discard them. Cry when consequences show up. Do your parents know about this plan? I asked. No, she said. They think she made a mistake, but meant well. They do not know how calculated this was. And if I told them, they would not believe me. She has always been the golden child. What do you get out of warning me? Nothing, she said. I will probably be cut off from the family when she finds out. But I could not watch you walk into that meeting blind. You did not deserve what she did. I sat back down slowly. You are going to lose your family over this. Maybe, Alicia said. Or maybe one day they will finally see who she really is. Either way, someone needed to tell the truth. We sat in silence for a moment. The medical partners are suing her, I said. Did you know that? I heard she is panicking, Alicia replied. The clinic space is gone. Dr. Shaw will not speak to her. Her reputation in the medical community is destroyed. Everything is collapsing. And she is blaming me for all of it, I said. That is what she does, Alicia said. She never takes responsibility. She stood up. I should go? I just wanted you to know what is coming. Document everything. Save every message, every email, every witness who saw how you treated her. She is going to try to destroy you in that meeting. I walked her to the door. Thank you, I said honestly. I am sorry she did this to you, Alicia said. You were good to her. Better than she deserved. After she left, I called my lawyer. Midnight did not matter. We have a problem, I said, and told him everything Alicia had shared. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. Okay, change of plans. We are not doing a settlement meeting. We are going to deposition. I want her under oath. I want every lie recorded. Then we dismantle her case. How fast can we move? I asked. The divorce hearing is in 6 weeks, he said. We will be ready. I hung up and checked my phone. A message from Brian. You okay? Getting better, I replied. Just learned how deep this goes. Want me to come over? No, I said. I am fine. Just planning. I opened my laptop and started organizing everything. Every document. Every text. Every email from the last 2 years. Every witness who saw how I treated her. Every piece of proof that I supported her, not controlled her. She wanted to play the victim. Fine. I had the truth. 6 weeks later, the divorce hearing arrived. Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock. I showed up 15 minutes early with my attorney and 3 banker boxes filled with documentation. She walked in with her attorney, Simmons, and her parents. When she saw the boxes, her face drained of color. The judge was a woman in her 50s named Judge Eleanor Watkins. No nonsense. Sharp eyes. She reviewed the files and looked up. I have reviewed the submissions, she said. This should be straightforward, except for allegations of financial abuse and controlling behavior. She turned to my wife. You are claiming your husband isolated you and controlled your access to money. Yes, Your Honor, she said. He made me completely dependent on him. The judge looked at my attorney. Response. He stood calmly. Your Honor, we have extensive documentation showing the opposite. My lawyer laid it all out clearly. Bank records showing she had full access to our joint accounts. Text messages proving she made financial choices on her own. Statements from friends, family, and co-workers confirming she had complete freedom. Judge Eleanor Watkins looked at my attorney. I would like to see that. He opened the first box and pulled out neatly labeled folders. Bank statements showing years of spending without limits. Credit card bills in her name that I paid without question. Text messages where she told me she was buying things and I replied that it was fine. Emails where she planned trips with friends using our shared money. The judge reviewed everything in silence. 20 full minutes. The only sound in the room was paper turning. Finally, she looked up. Mrs., these records show you spent $43,000 last year on personal expenses. vacations, shopping, spa visits, all without restriction. She made me feel guilty about it every week, my wife said. The judge did not look impressed. Did he ever refuse a purchase? No. Did he require you to ask permission? Not exactly, but the dynamic. Yes or no? The judge said firmly. Did he ever prevent you from accessing money? No. Did he ever threaten you financially? Not in words, but yes or no? No. Judge Watkins set the papers down. I see no evidence of financial abuse. What I do see is someone with full financial freedom now claiming victim status to improve a settlement position. I do not tolerate that in my courtroom. Her attorney jumped in. Your Honor, there is also the matter of the business investment. He destroyed her clinic out of spite. I reviewed that as well, the judge said, cutting him off. The clinic was funded entirely by the husband's personal funds, not marital assets, not joint investments. His money. He had every legal right to withdraw it. She paused. And for the record, the withdrawal happened after the wife publicly humiliated him and handed him divorce papers at a professional event. I have seen the video. Frankly, I am surprised he did not withdraw the funding that same night. My lawyer then presented additional evidence. The affair with Dr. Kevin Shaw. Messages between my wife and her friends where she called me a placeholder. Messages where she bragged about having me figured out and knowing I would never leave. Her mother gasped when those messages were read aloud. Her father put his head in his hands. Judge Watkins looked visibly disgusted. Mrs., did you tell your husband you were involved with another man while he was funding your business? It was not an affair, she said. We were separated. According to your own filing, the judge replied. You were married and living together until the night of the clinic event. That was 3 weeks ago. When did this relationship begin? Silence. Mrs., I asked you a question. 7 months ago, she whispered. The judge nodded slowly. So you were having an affair while your husband invested millions into your clinic. Did you plan to tell him? I was going to, she said. After the clinic opened. When the money was locked in. More silence. Judge Watkins closed the file. Here is my ruling. She spoke clearly and without emotion. The marriage is dissolved. The house purchased before marriage remains with the husband. The $4.3 million invested in the clinic were personal funds and are not subject to division. Joint savings will be split equally. Joint debts will be split equally. No alimony will be awarded due to the length of the marriage and the wife's earning capacity as a physician. Her attorney stood quickly. Your Honor, that leaves my client with very little. The judge looked at him sharply. Your client left herself with very little when she committed adultery, publicly humiliated her husband, and then attempted to lie under oath by claiming abuse. She is fortunate this court is being as restrained as it is. We are finished. The gavel came down. Outside the courthouse, her parents approached me. Her father handed me an envelope. What is this? I asked. First payment on the loan, he said. $2,000. It is all we can manage right now, but we will send more every month. You do not have to, I said. Yes, we do, he replied. You helped us when you had no obligation to. We will pay you back. Her mother touched my arm. I am sorry. For all of it. We raised her better than this. I do not know what happened. She happened, I said quietly. Sometimes people just are who they are. They walked away. She stood alone by her car, staring at me. No defiance left. No arrogance. Just someone finally realizing that consequences do not disappear. I did not gloat. I did not approach her. I got into my car and drove home. 3 months later, I heard from Brian that she had taken a job at a clinic 2 states away. A fresh start, apparently. The medical partners settled their lawsuit. She paid back their deposits using an inheritance from her grandmother. Dr. Shaw was engaged to someone else. The clinic space became a yoga studio. Her parents paid me back in full over 18 months. They insisted on adding $1,000 as interest, even though I told them not to. Alicia and I got coffee occasionally. She had been right. Her parents eventually saw the patterns they had ignored for years. As for me, I dated a little. Focused on work. Bought a dog. Normal life. No dramatic reinvention. No revenge tour. Just forward motion. Someone asked me once if I regretted the investment. $4.3 million is a lot to lose on a marriage. I told them I did not lose it. I got it back. Every dollar. What I lost was the illusion that someone loved me. And illusions are not worth $4.3 million. The truth is worth more. And I got that for free.